Scott Rudin, a development executive at 20th Century Fox, pitched to the studio an adaptation of Charles Addams' The Addams Family cartoons, and the studio enthusiastically agreed that the cartoons would make a good film and set out to purchase the rights. Fox did not make the film, as Orion Pictures, who owned the rights to The Addams Family, would not sell the property, as they were planning on producing a rebooted TV series. Further crucial property rights were owned by Charles Addams' widow. Another difficulty in getting the film produced was the relative obscurity of the 1964 television series as compared to the better-known series The Munsters, due to syndication. The production moved forward when Addams' widow sold the remaining rights to Orion, who put the film in production with Rudin producing. Tim Burton and Terry Gilliam were approached to direct the film, but both declined in what would be Barry Sonnenfeld's 1991 film, The Addams Family.
Let them fight. You're a wizard, Harry.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll be back.
Death has come to your little township.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Chills and Thrills, and happy Halloween from us here to all of you listening. And today, Connor here along with Adrian again, and we are going to be looking at the 1991 film, The Addams Family, as voted on by our listeners and members of our Facebook page. So they voted for this one out of, I can't remember, the other options were like Hocus Pocus, Hellfest, The Addams Family, and Rob Zombie's 31. There were a couple other options, and this was the one that won in that poll. And to be honest with you, I didn't know how I was going to feel about this film because I have not seen this since I was a real little guy. I mean, probably 8, 9, 10. I have not watched this in 20, probably about 15, 20 years. So, I mean, it has been a very long time, and it was an interesting watch. I don't want to spoil exactly how I feel about it yet, but Adrian, I'm sure you've watched this a little more often than I have recently.
I definitely have. Me and my wife, we love the Addams Family, and it's it's one of our go-to, like, go to bed movies. Typically, it's more Addams Family value, but still, we like to go in between that one value and then the two Red movies for some reason also ended up in our repertoire. If it's not just some random sitcom show that I force her to watch.
Well, it had been so long that when I watched this, I honestly I watched it 3 times over the last couple days because I had such a hard time, like, picking, like, favorite character or like, a quote or, like, most memorable dialogue or favorite scene, and I didn't remember this movie at all. Like, I came into it was almost like a brand new watch. So, like, my first time watching it, I was like I kept looking at my phone, I got up to get something to eat, I did this. So then the second time I watched it, I made myself like, "Alright, sit down, I have to pay attention to this, we're doing a podcast on it. Like, I used to like this movie, like, why can't I just sit down and watch this?" And then the third time I watched it was, like, to help me pick, go like, go through the film and pick favorite character, favorite quote, favorite scene, and it's just like by the end of it, I was like, "Alright, that's enough Addams Family for a little while." But I remember this film, and this is like people who listen to this are probably gonna hate me for saying this, but I remember it being so much more fun when I was little and, like, laughing and, like, I think I might be thinking of, like, Addams Family Values and not this original Addams Family film.
Yeah, the Addams Family Values is genuinely might liked a little bit more than the first film, but it's still a great film. I mean, I still thoroughly enjoy my time, every time watching it, because every time I go into it, I try to hit the erase button in my head, and everything is so whimsical, and I think that's the right word for it, but yeah, yeah, whimsical. Like, everything is a play on what it is. Like, the polar bear rug is an actual rug, like, it's an actual polar bear that tries to eat the accountant. Uh, I love little things like that.
I always remembered one thing I did remember is the hand. I always remembered that running around and, like, pointing at the out the window that telling Gomez that somebody's here or, like, little things like that I remembered, but, like, I a couple of days ago, like, I rewatched this for the podcast, and then I watched this guy on YouTube, he's called EOM Reacts, and he's hilarious, so I always watch it, and he did a reaction video to The Addams Family, and he's, like, an older guy, so, like, during the reaction video, he's just like, "Man, I didn't know Morticia was like that," and, like, every, like, 10 minutes, he's like, "Man, she is bad, she is hot." So, like, I went into this, like, on a rewatch trying to, like, see it through his eyes.
Oh, yeah, I always, make that comment in front of my wife, it's like, "Oof, Morticia, damn." She does the same with, like, Tom Selleck,
Oh,
whatever she
geez.
sees him.
But I came into this not knowing what I was gonna get, and the first time I watched it, I like I said, I was on my phone, so I could tell that I was bored, because
Mhm.
I hadn't seen it in so long, it was hard to get into, and then the second and third time I got into it a little bit more, started paying a little bit more attention, and trying to, like, remember when I first seen this or, like, what my first reactions of this would have been, but I all in all, I think it's a fun film. I got a lot of, like, fun facts and stuff to talk about. I can't wait to get into, like, our favorite characters and stuff on it. So I think this should be a fun conversation.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely, I agree to that. I'm very excited for this episode.
Before I give you some info on the 91 film or the film we are doing now, I'll give you a little information on, like, the Addams Family as a whole. So bear with me because I have a lot of information of how this film came to be and how everything with the Addams Family developed through the years.
I'm for it.
So the Addams Family is a fictional family created by American cartoonist Charles Addams. The Addams are an eccentric, old money clan who delight in the macabre and the grotesque and are seemingly unaware or unconcerned that other people find them bizarre or frightening. The Addams' view in seeing their family life and interests are normal was a basis for the satire and comedy. They originally appeared in a series of 150 standalone single panel comics, about half of which were originally published in The New Yorker between 1938 and their creator's death in 1988. They have since appeared in other media such as television, film, video games, comic books, a musical, and merchandise. The family members were unnamed until the late 60s. Matriarch Morticia and daughter Wednesday received their names when a licensed doll collection was released in 1962. Patriarch Gomez and son Pugsley were named when the 1964 television series debuted. The Addams family consists of Gomez and Morticia Addams, their children Wednesday and Pugsley, and close family members Uncle Fester and Grandmama, their butler Lurch, and Pugsley's pet octopus, Aristotle. The dimly seen Thing was introduced in 1954, and Gomez's cousin It, Morticia's pet lion, kitty cat, and Morticia's carnivorous plant Cleopatra in 1964. Pubert Addams, Wednesday, and Pugsley's infant brother were introduced in the 1993 film Addams Family Values. The live-action television series premiered on ABC on Friday, September 18th, 1964, and ran for 2 seasons. An animated series from Hanna-Barbera aired in 1973, and the characters had cameos in the animated The New Scooby-Doo movies. The 1960s television show characters and actors returned in a 1977 telefilm titled Halloween with the New Addams Family. The franchise was revived in the 90s with a feature film series consisting of the 1991 The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values in 1993. The film inspired a second animated series, 1992 to 1993, which is set in the same fictional universe. The series was rebooted with a 98 direct-to-video film and a spin-off live-action television series from 98 to 99. In 2010, a live-action musical adaptation featuring Nathan Lane and BB Newworth opened on Broadway to tepid reviews, but it was nominated for 2 Tony Awards and 8 Drama Desk Awards, winning 1 Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Set Design. The series was rebooted once again in 2019 with the animated film The Addams Family, which led to a sequel in 2021. In 2022, Netflix debuted the original live-action series Wednesday, based around the daughter of the family. And the franchise has spawned a video game series, academic books, and soundtracks, which are based around its Grammy-nominated theme song. A staple in pop culture for 8 decades, the Addams Family has influenced American comics, cinema, and television, with the goth subculture and its fashion have also been influenced by the Addams Family. So there is a lot and a lot of background on the Addams Family.
Yes, there is. I mean, I never really dove too deep into the Addams Family until probably about like 2 years ago. Somebody made a comment and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Like they brought up the old TV show. I didn't know it was a TV show until my mid-20s. And then I proceeded to watch every single episode.
I haven't watched any of the old episodes of this. I'm a big, fan. I always watch, like, the old black and white episodes of the Munsters, but never really of the Addams Family. I knew there was an old show, and, I didn't know there was, like, a Hanna-Barbera, like, cartoon spin-off or anything like that, but I knew of these 2 movies. I knew of the old black and white TV show. And then I knew of, like, some of the animated stuff, like the Addams Family one. I see that on Netflix all the time, but I haven't watched that one or anything other than really these 2 films, The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values.
I I've seen all of Wednesday. I mean, we watched them whenever they were dropping. So like I think we even mentioned it on our podcast, Make Me Believe. We're like, "Oh, by the way, by the time this episode drops, Wednesday will be out, so, watch that, everybody." Um, and personally, I like the show. I think it was very well done, and, yeah, the old school show, I did enjoy. Mid-20s, you know, I'm working, 50, 60-hour weeks, and I would come home, and I would put on the black and white 64 um Addams Family show, and I would just enjoy it.
So what you're saying is I need to give that a shot.
Yes, yes, you do. It's definitely, both I mean, both the Wednesday show, that's definitely a good watch, and then, of course, the, 64, black and white. It's a good old-timey feel.
Okay, because I have not seen any of Wednesday either. I've seen, like, clips, and I've thought about just throwing it on and watching it, but it's one of those things to where, like, once I come home, like, usually if I have my little girl, like, she wants to run around or go outside and, it's getting to be too cold up here, it's late October, but, soon, and when I don't have her, I'll usually pop on a movie that we're doing here on the podcast or something, so I'll watch that and take notes and stuff. So it's just something that I've had on the list, but I've never gotten to, even though I have had some time to get to it.
I have so many shows and movies that are on my list to watch. It kills me, my catalog.
Once I add things, I try to get them off of it as quick as I can, and then, like, I listen to other podcasts as well, clearly, so, like, somebody will release something of a film that I haven't seen, but I wanna see, so then I'll try to hurry up and go watch that movie so I can listen to the podcast that they just dropped about it, so it's like a it's like a love-hate relationship with movies that I wanna see, podcasts I wanna listen to.
I know the struggle. I definitely know the struggle.
Well, with all that, let me give you some quick background here on the 1991 film of The Addams Family.
Alright.
So, The Addams Family is a 1991 American supernatural black comedy film based on the characters from the cartoon created by cartoonist Charles Addams and the 1964 television series produced by David Levy. Directed by former cinematographer Barry Sonnenfeld in his featured directorial debut, this film stars Angelica Houston, who was nominated for a Golden Globe for her performance as Morticia Addams, Raul Julia as Gomez Addams, and Christopher Lloyd as Fester Addams. The film focuses on a bizarre, macabre, aristocratic family who reconnect with someone whom they believe to be a long-lost relative, Gomez's brother Fester Addams. The film was noted for its turbulent production. Originally developed at Orion Pictures, the film went $5 million over budget due to constant rewrites throughout shooting. Health problems of people involved in the filming, and an overall stressful filming for Sonnenfeld himself, which caused multiple delays. The rise in production costs led Orion, financially struggling and fearful of another big-budget flop, to sell the film to Paramount Pictures, who completed the film and handled the film's domestic distribution. Orion distributed the film internationally through Columbia Pictures, and the film was commercially a success, making back almost 7 times its production costs, and a sequel, The Addams Family Values, was released in 1993. So there's a little background on The Addams Family. All right, how about we get into a trailer on The Addams Family? We'll jump into a plot synopsis, and then we'll come back with some numbers, some fun facts, and get into all our favorite categories on the film.
Let's do it.
Showtime!
It's a miserable night.
I know, darling. Children, put down that antenna.
Uncle Fester, may I have the salt?
What do we say?
Now.
Unhappy, darling.
Oh, yes. Yes, completely.
There's lots to learn. Look, children.
Children, what are you doing?
I'm going to electrocute him.
I said no.
Please?
Oh, all right. Don't torture yourself, Gomez. That's my job.
Cara mia.
Is this made from real lemons? Yes. I'll buy a cup if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Gomez Addams laments the 25-year absence of his brother Fester, who disappeared after the two had a falling out. Gomez's lawyer, Tully Alford, owes money to loan shark and con artist Abigail Craven, and notices that her adopted son Gordon closely resembles Fester. Tully proposes that Gordon pose as Fester to infiltrate the Addams household and find the hidden vault where they keep their vast riches. Tully and his wife Margaret attend a seance at the Addams home led by Grandmama, in which the family tries to contact Fester's spirit. Gordon arrives posing as Fester, while Abigail poses as the German psychiatrist Dr. Greta Pinderschloss. She tells the family that Fester had been lost in the Bermuda Triangle for the past 25 years until she found him in some tuna nets. Gomez, overjoyed to have Fester back, takes him to the family vault to view home movies from their childhood. Gordon learns that Gomez was jealous of Fester's success with women and wooed the conjoined twins Flora and Fauna Amor away from him out of envy, resulting in their dispute. Gomez starts to suspect that Fester is an imposter when he is unable to recall important details about their past. Gordon attempts to return to the vault, but is unable to get past a booby trap. Gomez's wife Morticia reminds Fester of the importance of family among the Addamses and their vengeance against those who crossed them. Fearing that the family is getting wise to their con, Abigail convinces Gomez that his suspicions are due to displacement. Gordon, under the guise of Fester, grows closer to the Addams family, particularly the children Wednesday and Pugsley, whom he helps to prepare a swordplay sequence for a school play. Abigail had insisted that Gordon not attend the play, but after feeling deeply saddened by this, he attends anyway. After the play, Dr. Pinderschloss insists that Fester must once again leave, so the Addamses throw a large party with their extended family and friends, during which Abigail plans to break into the vault. Wednesday overhears Tully and Abigail discussing the plan and escapes them by hiding in the family cemetery. Tully learns that as the elder brother, Fester is the executor of the Addams estate and therefore technically owns the entire property. With help from the Addams' neighbor, Judge George Womack, whom Gomez had repeatedly infuriated by hitting golf balls into his house, Tully procures a restraining order against the family, banning them from the estate. Gomez attempts to fight the order in court, but Judge Womack rules against him out of spite. While Abigail, Gordon, and Tully try repeatedly and unsuccessfully to get past the booby trap blocking access to the vault, the Addamses are forced to move into a motel and find jobs. Morticia tries to be a preschool teacher, Wednesday and Pugsley sell toxic lemonade, and Thing, the family's animated disembodied hand, becomes a courier. Despondent, Gomez sinks into depression and lethargy. Morticia returns to the Addams home to confront Gordon and is captured by Abigail and Tully, who torture her in an attempt to learn how to access the vault. Thing observes this and informs Gomez using Morse code. Gomez rushes to Morticia's rescue, and Abigail threatens Morticia's life if Gomez does not surrender the family fortune. Fed up with his mother's behavior and constant berating, Gordon turns against her. Using a magical book which projects its content into reality, he unleashes a hurricane into the house, which strikes his own head with lightning and launches Tully and Abigail out of a window and into open graves dug for them by Wednesday and Pugsley. 7 months later, at Halloween, it emerges that Gordon actually was Fester and really had gone missing in the Bermuda Triangle, where he was found and adopted by Abigail. However, Fester had suffered from amnesia the whole time and only recovered his memories after being struck by the lightning. Meanwhile, Margaret is now in a relationship with cousin It, an Addams Family relative. With the family whole again as they play Wake the Dead, Morticia informs Gomez that she is pregnant. All right, how about we get into some numbers here for you? I got some good ones that might surprise you. So the Addams Family had a $30 million budget and a $191.5 million box office return, which in 2025 dollars would be a $74 million budget and a box office return of $456 million. So this was a monster of a movie back in the early 90s.
Wow. My goodness. I had no idea.
I didn't think it even made almost 200 million back then. If you would have told me to guess what this movie made, I probably would have said like 50 million in the 90s and probably would have said that the budget was like 10 million, like that it did well, but I didn't think it had a $30 million budget and made almost 200 million.
Yeah, that's very surprising, and for, like, a movie like this, um, that's definitely that that definitely shocks me. I'll say that.
And it makes you wonder if like, is it all like the baby boomers or something like that that kind of grew up on this show? Were they the ones taking their kids to go see it in theaters, or like were grandparents like of kids rushing to see it in theaters? Like, what was the crowd like that went to see this in theaters? I'd be curious about that.
100%, it is the parents that wanted to go out wanted to go out, but they had kids, and so they're like, "Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and take the kids." So they pack up, um, all 17 of them because there's a lot of them, a lot of us born in the '90s, and, um, that's how they made their money, you know?
Absolutely, and I mean this film pretty much has good numbers all around. I mean, it's rated a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, has a 68% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Our low man is 57% rating on Metacritic, which for some reason, a lot of the times I see that Metacritic is a lower rating than IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, or anything else. But our high number is 81% of Google users liked this film.
Yeah, and I trust the Google ratings on that more than I do, Rotten Tomatoes. and Metacritic.
Well, it's one of those things that from what I've seen is that like review sites like that, like you can never really please them. They're it's 1 out of like 50 times that they're happy with a film, and people are actually gonna give it a good rating, especially if it's something like this coming from like a TV show or something like that, like something being produced that came from a book and is now getting a film adaptation or something like that. A lot of the times critics are a lot harder on those.
Oh yeah, like yeah, anything that comes from a book, oh, you better hit that spot on, and you're not going to, um, because you're gonna get pulled through the ringer on it. Every little imperfection that didn't come from the book, people are just gonna harp on it.
I mean, the only exceptions I can really think of are like a couple like Jaws, Jurassic Park, like a couple of the Harry Potter films, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Jurassic Park definitely, that did I mean, it was kind of a lot different than the book, though. Yeah, it was a lot different than the book, that's what it was, yeah. 'Cause there's a lot of crucial scenes that they didn't put in the movie that they ended up using, in other movies. Like, it not since the new Jurassic World movie did they finally include the river scene.
Yeah, there is a lot that films tend to leave out because I mean, what are you gonna do? Make like a 6-hour movie?
I mean, if it's a good book, by all means.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with you, and I mean, I like I've read Jaws and like Stephen King's It and stuff like that. I'm not a huge reader, but I definitely have read like my fair share of like novels or and things like that. But there's never gonna be enough time in a film that you can put everything that's in a book into the film. Like people that read a lot are always gonna say the book is better and things like that, but I can't finish a book in 2 hours, so I'm a movie watcher when it comes to that, but I do still enjoy reading, like, Jaws and Jurassic Park, things like that.
Yeah, and me, I mean, I never have time to read, so I listen to audiobooks a lot.
See, I've done that as well.
Yeah, that's my only workaround with my
So
work schedule.
gotta start working them 40-hour weeks.
One day, one day.
So that is all I have on, numbers for you for that one. I'll hit you with some fun facts that I found, and I know you had some of your own, so, why don't, if I give you one and then if you wanna fire one back at me, I'm sure I have probably like 10 of them here, so if you wanna fire some back, that's A-okay in my book.
Yeah, yeah, I'll let you go first, and I'll, fire one back in order.
So my first one for you here is after the movie premiered, children would frequently recognize Raul Julia as Gomez Adams out in public, which, according to him, always brought a smile to his face. Julia stated that Gomez Adams was by far his favorite role, and his family said this recognition was especially meaningful to him in the final months of his life because he loved performing for children and making them happy whenever the opportunity presented itself. So I thought that was amazing that, like, because a lot of actors you see they get annoyed with people recognizing them or, like, wanting to talk to them or autographs or this and that, and this guy just, like, embraced it. And anytime kids or people ran up to him, he was happy to chat or, like, to see the kids, like, recognizing him as this character. So I thought that was phenomenal 'cause you don't get that too often with a lot of actors nowadays anyway.
The only exception that I have ever heard about that, like, to this day, is Shrek. Anybody that played any character in Shrek, they still have kids walk up to them and quote whatever their favorite line was.
I mean, hell, at 31 right now, I would walk up to a character from Shrek and do that.
Oh, yeah, Cameron Diaz, yeah, I'll gladly walk up to her and, voice any line from Shrek.
Even go up to Eddie Murphy. That is a nice boulder,
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
Exactly. And even if I was somebody who starred in movies or something like that, I would love seeing people like, "Hey, like, can I take a photo with you?" If 100 people did it in a day, sure, that would get annoying and tiresome, but if a couple people, wanna chat with you for 2 minutes a day or take a picture with you or recognize you or something like that, I feel like I would love that. I would love to be able to, like, make a little kid's day or something, so that like I said, it's awesome that he felt the same way about that.
Yeah, I agree with that, that is very nice, it's very wholesome. Let's see, one of mine is Gomez Addams was supposed to have dark circles under his eyes just like, oh my goodness, Uncle Fester, but they ended up
Really?
scrapping it. Yeah, as soon as they started filming, they ended up scrapping it and gave him, perfect complexion, but you could see it in a lot of the original movie posters.
I am gonna have to take a peek at that because I didn't know that. I clearly can see where they got it from, but I didn't know that behind the scenes fact for this.
Yeah.
Does it say why they decided to take those away?
No, it was just, something that they decided last minute. They're like, "No, it doesn't really fit him." I think they were going for, like, like, contrast. You got the weird, Uncle Fester. He's big, he's bald, he's got bags under his eyes, and he's a creature, really. And then you got Gomez, who is all dressed up always. He has that suave going on, but he's also very whimsical and very, um, well, all in all fun. And, I think they just wanted to go for that there's a word there that I'm missing, and it's like key. But they wanted to go for that contrast, you know?
They wanted Gomez to have the swag.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, set cost. Yeah, the set, the exterior, for the Addams Family house, it cost $100,000 in 1991, which, doing the, equivalency for nowadays, it's $224,204.84 today.
Which is ridiculous that it pretty much timesed it by 2.5, 30
Oh, yeah,
years, a little
it's
over 30
insane.
years later.
Yeah, that I was going through the trivia, on it, and that popped up, and I was like, "Ooh, a number, now I can sound smart."
So my next one for you is you spoke on the Addams Family house, the exterior being built for $100,000. That was one of the ones I had for you. So my next one after that is in order to gain Morticia's figure, Angelica Houston wore a metal corset. She also had to get gauze eye lifts, neck tucks, and fake nails daily. She told Entertainment Weekly, "Come afternoon, I could be prone to a really good headache from my various bondages, and because I couldn't lie down or rest, it was fairly exhausting."
Yeah, that was one of mine as well. Um, my goodness, Morticia Addams. Angelica Houston, yeah, the original goth baddie, just gotta love her.
I
Let's see,
don't think I would want to go through all that for a
really?
part
Oh,
in a
well, yeah,
film.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that does sound like a lot like that reminds me of, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with the live action, with Jim Carrey.
Yes.
He went to the FBI to learn how to withhold torture, so that way, he can wear his, Grinch costume because it was so uncomfortable.
Trust me, Jim Carrey, we are absolutely glad that you did.
Oh, yeah, that was the best live action, everything else is, ugh, rough.
What else you got for me?
Okay, we almost had a different Uncle Fester. The original, the person to first turn down the script was Sir Anthony Hopkins.
I did have that, and I did see that. So I and the thing is, I like the Uncle Fester that we got in this, and I feel like Anthony Hopkins would have played it a much creepier Uncle Fester.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It would have been creepier. It would have been. I think it would have been a totally different Uncle Fester vibe, compared to Christopher Lloyd. But I I think they went with a great choice with Christopher Lloyd because the his delivery on everything is great. You know, and thinking about whenever you first get introduced to Uncle Fester, you know, with the con artist woman, and he's kind of not really torturing, but beating up the accountant. I think Anthony Hopkins would have played that scene very well, made it really creepy.
Yeah, all the things that I've seen Anthony Hopkins in, I've liked him. I think he's a great actor, and I mean, my favorite film with him is probably The Silence of the Lambs, and it's just I
Oh
think he
yeah.
would have done a great job, but I've never turned down a Christopher Lloyd performance, and from like the Back to the Future films or like When Good Ghouls Go Bad. I remember that film when I was a little kid, and I remembered him. He was one of the parts of this film that I actually remembered was him being Uncle Fester in these.
Yeah, yeah, Christopher Lloyd, yeah, definitely, iconic.
So I have one for you that kinda goes off of that. So when Anthony Hopkins didn't decide to do this, Christopher Lloyd was the next immediate choice for Fester. Barry Sonnenfeld wasn't sure if Lloyd would commit after shooting two Back to the Future sequels back to back the previous 2 years. He also considered Danny DeVito, Jack Nicholson, and Rodney Dangerfield in the event Lloyd passed on the part. But Lloyd admitted he was exhausted after finishing the previous films but wanted to do the movie as he was sure the Addams Family would be a hit.
And that right there is another prime example of an actor trusting his gut and going with the project.
There's so many right there that there's so many different versions of Uncle Fester that you get. Danny DeVito, I mean, I think of like the Penguin when I think of him, or and then like Jack Nicholson would have been something. Rodney Dangerfield, I don't know how I would have felt about that one, but like Christopher Lloyd, Danny DeVito, Jack Nicholson, like those are all three like completely different versions of Uncle Fester. Same with Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah, none of those would have been remotely close to each other in, terms of performance.
So it would have been something nice to see. I'm never against like an alternate reality where we get someone else playing this just to see what that film would have been like. It's fun to imagine like what these films could have been with like who they originally wanted as this character or that character or who passed on it and things like that.
Yeah, I like reading through trivia and finding out who would have played s some character, and I like to picture that. It's like, "Oh, man, how would he have done that?" And then I try to do it the exact same mannerisms, and then, like, "No, he wouldn't have done that, he would have done this," and then next thing you know, it's 3 days later, I need to get to bed. It's just not a pretty sight.
You're trying to talk to your phone, asking AI if they can show you this guy playing Uncle Fester in the Addams Family, and
Me and ChatGPT have gone down some rabbit holes.
exactly.
Alright. So, my next fun fact is director Barry Sonnenfeld Feld originally wanted Danny Elfman to score the film, but Elfman declined. However, he did work on the TV show Wednesday in 2022. So in the end, he finally got to work on an Addams Family project, but it took him 31 years until he did.
And I one of the things that I expected from this film was a little bit more music, a little bit more composition in it. So I think Danny Elfman would have brought that. and I like a couple of other films that he's scored, and I feel like that's maybe part of the thing that was missing in my mind were, like, some really good scores or some good music in this film. Because like, I'm not knocking what we have, but I coming from, like, the Addams Family, I was with that name, I was thinking it was gonna be a little more. Maybe I was just expecting too much, but I think Danny Elfman would've brought that.
I'm right there with you on that one. Danny Elfman would have definitely crushed that and made a little bit more, um, of a soundtrack than what it had. 'Cause, yeah, there wasn't much scoring done in this movie.
And I can bounce right off of what you just said, which is, director Barry Sonnenfeld had not originally planned to use the theme music from the Addams Family TV show from 1964 in the movie, but he included it in the opening sequence after positive reactions to the early trailer, which included the theme. And that's one of the things, like, you don't get that Addams Family theme very much in this film. You get a little bit in the beginning, and then it is very scarce, if at all, in the rest of the film, which I I remember as a kid doing all the da 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 da. Like,
Da-da-da-da.
I was coming into this film not seeing it for so long, expecting it to be in there a little more because, like I said, it's been like 20 years or so since I've seen this film.
Yeah, yeah, coming from Adam's Family Values and going between the 2 movies, yeah, there's more scoring in the second one than there is the first.
Well, good, because I was looking forward to kinda grooving along with some da 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 dum, da 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 dum.
Da-da-da-dum.
Every time I do that, my little girl's like, "Daddy, I can't snap," and I'm like, "We'll teach you. We'll get you going."
Yeah, my kids were very excited whenever they learned how to snap, and then we would walk around and do that all the time.
Absolutely. So I was looking forward to that. So maybe in the Addams Family Values, maybe I'll get to snap along some more.
Let's go with, Wednesday Addams is one of, Christina Ricci's, favorite roles.
I did see that, or I heard that somewhere or something, and that I really like that because I like as being a little kid, kind of when she was a little kid, watching her in, like, I seen her originally in, like, this, Casper, I believe it was called Gold Diggers, like, The Adventure of Bear Mountain or something like that. So, like, she was
Oh,
growing up
yeah, I
as I
forgot
was
about that
growing up,
movie.
so that's awesome.
Yeah, you're correct, same with me, I mean, we're not too different in ages, and, seeing her grow up, as I was growing up, that's definitely interesting to see. Like, "Oh, man, she got older." I think the first thing I saw her in was Addams Family, and then I saw her in Casper, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that was a big jump."
See, I think I seen Gold Diggers before I seen either one of those 2.
Really?
Yeah.
You got any more trivia for me, or are we moving on?
Oh, I got tons. I got tons. What do you got?
Okay, the
Alright.
Addams Family car is a 1932 Packard Twin Six.
I don't even know what that is besides seeing it in the movie.
I love old school cars like that, and seeing it in the movie, I mean, I remember I loved it whenever I was a kid, 'cause there's very few scenes with it, like seeing the exterior of it, and, even now seeing it as an adult, I watch it and I'm like, "Oh, what a gorgeous car."
And in film, and they make the older cars, they just make them look so pristine, and it's
Yeah.
not like today's cars. Like, it's something you have to admire because it well, nowadays, it's almost an 100-year-old car.
Yeah, yeah, they just took better care of the cars.
Well, also, they were made out of much better material back then as well.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They they were made to last back then. It wasn't, "Here, we'll sell you a car, and after 5 years, you're gonna need another one." So I got one for you here. Director Tim Burton was originally set to direct this film. He had worked with screenwriters Caroline Thompson and Larry Wilson individually. Thompson on Edward Scissorhands and The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Wilson on Beetlejuice. So again, this would have been an absolutely different film if you bring Tim Burton on as a director.
Oh, 100%. We've been on a Tim Burton kick at the house here lately, and it's definitely made the house feel a little interesting. I will say that.
What Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice are probably two of my favorite films all time while I was growing up. And I might get, hate comments for this, but I've never been a huge fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas. So maybe I need to, as an adult, maybe I need to give it another go and see how I feel about it at my current age.
100%. Yes, you do. In fact, for Halloween today, me and my wife were gonna set up the projector outside and project the Nightmare Before Christmas movie on our garage while everybody's trick or treating.
All right. Well, I'll fly down to Texas. I'll stop by, grab some candy, and we'll watch The Nightmare Before Christmas.
More than welcome.
So here's one that is a fun MC Hammer connection because the main theme written and performed by MC Hammer won a Razzie Award in the category of Worst Original Song for this film.
I read that one and I laughed so hard. Uh, yeah, it made me chuckle for the rest of the day.
My thought was, at the end of the film, I hear that and I'm just like, I'm sitting here watching and I was like, why? Why? So the other two times I watched it, as soon as it ended, I was just like, no, we're going to stop it before the credits hit.
Let's see. Okay, I got one more for you. Cher wanted to play the role of Morticia Addams.
I did see that, and I don't know how I feel about that because I think Angelica Houston did awesome. I don't think I would want to recast her.
No, no, not on your life.
I wouldn't even want to like think of who to recast her with because I think she did a great job.
Yeah, 100% in love with Morticia Addams and Angelica Houston. Yeah, no one's replacing her.
So I got one more for you as well that I mentioned Angelica Houston in this. So the Addams Family was awarded Best Horror Film of the Year in 1991 by the Horror Hall of Fame. Carol Struckman appeared at the award ceremony to receive the award on behalf of the cast. Angelica Houston was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress for Motion Picture Musical or Comedy for her performance as Morticia. The film was nominated for an Academy Award for Achievement in Costume Design but lost to Bugsby. The film also won a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Original Song for the song Adam's Groove by MC Hammer. And then the film also won an award for Favorite Movie at the 1992 Kids' Choice Awards. So that's kind of like all the film's awards and their everything they won in that year or the following.
I love it. I love every bit of that, including MC Hammers.
The first time I listened to it, I was like halfway through and I was kind of grooving a little bit, just sitting here on the couch, like, okay, this is kind of catchy. And then, like, the second time I heard it, I was just like, no, I can't do it. I changed my
Oh yeah,
mind.
it's a hard pass. As soon as the it fades to black, I'm switching the movie.
I do not blame you at all. So that is all I have for you for fun facts. If that is all you have for me, if you want to dig into who your favorite character was for the Addams Family.
Morticia Addams. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, that's teenage me. We're gonna go with Gomez Addams as my favorite character.
All right, I would have to agree with you on that. I just like Gomez. I thought he was just really relaxed. He was chill. He was laid back. He's like he clearly he knows the family has money. They're not hurting or anything. So he's just like an adult, like a big kid. He's he's out like swinging the golf balls and he hits it through like the judge's window and he's just like, "Sorry, judge." Like, "You can keep that golf ball. I got a bucket full more." Like like
Oh, yeah,
just
that
not a
that
care in the
always makes me
world.
laugh. Always makes
So
me
he
laugh.
was
That's such a
he was an
funny line.
easy choice.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree on that.
So I had trouble with this one. I did choose a favorite quote. And I mean, there was a couple, but I chose one from Morticia, and she says, "Gomez, last night you were unhinged. You were like some desperate howling demon. You frightened me. Do it again." And I was just like, "Ooh, okay, girl, get it."
Get it, girl. Oh, that one, that was originally my quote as well, and I was like, we try to keep this a little PG, I guess. So I'll pick something else. But mine is a Morticia, as well, and it's, "Don't torture yourself, Gomez. That's my job."
That was my runner up, 100%.
Love it.
I don't know. Every time she said those two lines in the film, I laughed, and I was just like, "She is killing this performance."
Oh, yeah. There are
There
some
were
actors and actresses out there that, uh, are born to play a role, and she was definitely born to play this one.
100%. I absolutely loved the way she played it, and there's another one where Wednesdays and Pugsley are they're playing their games that they always play, and she's telling the kids to stop. And she's like, "Mom, but I want to electrocute him," or "I'm gonna electrocute him," or something like that. And like, there's so many good like lines, or like, just, she doesn't even have to say anything. She just delivers it with like the look on her face or something. Like, I love actors and actresses that can do that, and like you
Mhm.
know what they're thinking or you know what they're about to say.
Yeah, like, whenever they're in the kitchen, and then you see Wednesday with a chef knife, and she's like, "What are you doing?" Like, "I'm playing with Pugsley," and she goes, "With that knife? I don't think so." And she takes the knife away, and then she hands her this giant butcher's blade.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. This her and Morticia were like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, definitely born to play those roles.
So I had trouble picking a favorite scene, and honestly, I didn't I couldn't really narrow it down to one in this film. I did like when Fester was given the lawyer a really hard time, and like he grabbed him and like flips him upside down 180 degrees. And but like I just couldn't narrow down like a specific scene in this film that like really did it for me. Besides like the scenes during, like, the little small quotes we've mentioned where
Mhm.
Gomez and Morticia are shown at the beginning, and he's like, "I would kill for her, and I would die for her," and then she delivers the line that I said, like, "Last night you were unhinged, you frightened me, do it again." Like, that scene, like, stuck out because of the quotes and the lines that were delivered, but, like, when it came to a specific scene, I didn't really have one, so did you have a favorite or a specific scene that caught you?
It's funny that you mentioned when he's giving the accountant or the lawyer, a hard time, because that was one of my favorite scenes. I also had a little bit of trouble picking which one I wanted, but I settled, in whenever the lawyer comes in, and then he throws the sword at him, and then he starts fencing with him, and I love that scene every single time. It's one of my favorites.
That was one of the other ones I thought of that was up there. That was one of, like, my 3, like, that I was fighting back and forth between, and I was like, "You know what?" I was like, we'll I'm sure we'll mention a couple," so I was like, "We'll just throw them out there," and so that one was absolutely fun where he's like, "Where's my pen?" And then he's like, "I'll take yours," and that That gives me a that the beginning of this film, like, the first 15, 20 minutes, I laughed probably, like, 10 times, and then the next hour and 10 minutes of it, I laughed maybe, like, twice. So, like, that first 15, 20 minutes was awesome for, like, rerunning and rewatching it for the first time since being a kid.
Without a doubt.
Alright, so that is all I have for you, on the Addams Family. I mean, I was honestly surprised this one won. I thought that one of the other films would for sure win out in our Halloween poll, like Hocus Pocus. I had Hubie Halloween in there. I thought one of those two, either Hubie Halloween or Hocus Pocus, would have been the winner. And the Addams Family just blew everything out of the water. There was like 500 and some total votes, and I think the Addams Family had like 190 of them. It was like 33 or 35% for just this one film out of the 6. So
Oh,
this
wow.
one won in a landslide.
That's crazy.
Cause I believe I put this one on there last year as well, and the 2007 anthology film Trick or Treat ended up winning last year. So we
Great
did
film.
that.
Love that movie.
100%. Last year, it was a first time watch for me for the podcast, so I 100% enjoyed doing that one.
Yeah. I got my wife to watch that one, for the first time last Halloween as well, and, I mean, as far as I know, she enjoyed it, but she could be lying to me. I don't know. I don't trust her.
You gotta watch it again and then just keep an eye on her facial reactions.
Yeah, I'll be watching her more than I do the movie.
Absolutely. See if she looks disgusted or bored or something. It's like, "Yep, I know that look. Better turn it off." But yeah, I like doing these bonus episodes. We did one for Halloween and Christmas last year. I figure we can do one for Halloween and Christmas this year. We kind of do like a random 5 or 6 films and let people vote. And last year for Halloween it was Trick or Treat. Last year for the Christmas it was The Grinch, the Jim Carrey, The Grinch. So this
Mhm.
year we get the Addams Family for Halloween. So we'll have to see what options we can come up with for our Christmas one here in a couple months.
Very nice. I enjoy, talking about movies, and I definitely enjoy Halloween. So, yeah, I'm for it.
So why don't we I'll give you some final thoughts, you can give me some final thoughts, and then we'll if you want to plug yours and your wife's podcast in here, and then we'll get out of here.
Alright.
So this literally was like a brand new watch for me, and I mean, I the first time I watched it, like I said, the first time on the rewatch, I was kind of like bored, fiddling my fingers and thumbs and playing on my phone. But the second and third time that I watched it, I enjoyed this. So I think this might not be an every year watch for me for like the holiday or like spooky season, like through the month of October. But it's definitely got to be like an every other year watch. I'm definitely not gonna take another 20 years and watch this because I thought the characters that were in this, like Gomez and Morticia and Wednesday and Pugsley, like the actors that played them characters, I think they killed it. And Fester, all of them. So I mean, it's definitely something that I'm gonna go back to a little bit more often than I have recently, and I had a fun time with it. Hopefully, maybe next year for Halloween, we can put the Addams Family Values on there, and we'll see if we can finish off the 2 film set and finish Halloween next year with that one. But I think this one's fun and worth the watch, and like I said, I'm definitely gonna put it back in rotation.
Yes, it is. I mean, as I said in the beginning, me and my wife, it's in our rotation for, you know, bedtime movies or something to kinda put in as background noise, but still, we end up pretty much watching the whole thing almost every time. Um, but actually, I was thinking about it, I have a runner-up favorite scene that I had, trouble deciding. Uh, it was the auction.
You can't see me, but I'm laughing.
Yeah, the auction scene it makes I almost cry laugh every time because they donate this really expensive piece, and then they just get into a bidding war with each other. It's just every single time I watch it, I always stop what I'm doing, watch that scene, and then just go back to whatever the hell I was doing in the meantime. And it's always a little gut buster for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that one. There's some good scenes in this movie, and it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, if you haven't watched it in a long time, sit down
Please
and give it
do.
a watch. And if you've never seen it, it's absolutely at least worth one watch.
Mhm. Ugh. Okay. Um, well then I guess I'll just plug away. Okay, anybody that likes horror movies or anything scary and spooky, please listen to me and my wife's podcast, the Make Me Believe podcast. It's where I try to convince my wife of the supernatural by telling her scary stories. And I promise I could speak better in that one than I do today.
Yeah, absolutely. Check that out. And I mean, check out, Chills and Thrills. We have our Facebook page. We got a TikTok up and rolling now. We have all that good stuff. So check out the Make Me Believe podcast. Check out Chills and Thrills. And as always, we're gonna be back for another episode and on Monday. So we will have 5 episodes in a 2-week period because we have our Halloween franchise ranking that just released Monday. We have this episode that is releasing today on Halloween. And then we have a surprise episode for our 100th episode on Monday. And then we get into a brand new franchise on next Friday. And then we continue that franchise the following Monday. So we are spoiling any listeners with 5 episodes in a 2-week period when you would normally only get 2 episodes. So we definitely hope that you enjoy that, and we're looking forward to our 100th episode on Monday, and then continuing with an all brand new franchise, which we've done Halloween, we've done the Friday the 13th. So if you're marking down the big three, you'll be pretty excited to see what we got in store for next Friday.
Love it.
So before I get us out of here, Adrian, I'll say thank you because again, I did not expect the Addams Family to win. I hadn't watched this in forever, so thank you for joining me on this as I kind of slowly treaded the waters and got back into talking about a film that I hadn't seen in forever. So I didn't have a whole lot to say on it, and I need to be better.
Well, it was definitely my pleasure. It's good talking to you again, Connor, and I can't wait to keep churning out these episodes.
Absolutely. So, thank you. Thanks again to anyone out there listening. We have our 100th episode on Monday. You do not want to miss that one. So again, thank you to anyone out there listening. Thank you, Adrian, for joining me on this one. And everyone, have a happy and safe Halloween. But until next time.
Bye now.
Gomez,
Querida.
last night you were unhinged. You were like some desperate howling demon. You frightened me.